Hi guys, my name's Marcel, and today we're getting manly because you're gonna learn how to draw some serious muscle. Like I said, in today's video I'll show you how to draw some certain muscle groups, but don't worry, you'll be able to draw any kinds of muscles with these methods. Everything you'll need is a piece of paper and a pen. Don't worry, you don't need anything fancy or expensive to practice. But if you're curious what I use and I like to draw with, you can check out a list of all of my art supplies at DrawlikeaSir.com. Now, enough with the interlude, we've got some muscles that need to be drawn. Let's go! Of course, I'm not going to show you how every single muscle in the human body works. I'm gonna show you 2 or 3 examples, and after this tutorial you can basically draw any muscle you want. Let's take the infamous bicep for example. And you know how my tutorials work, we take something and we break it apart into its most basic components. An arm basically consists of 3 parts: a circle, an oval shape, and a triangle. Yeah, of course, it's not gonna stay that way for too long. The circle is your deltoid, that's basically your shoulder muscle. The oval shape is, of course, the bicep. But why is there a triangle or diamond shape here? Because there's 2 muscles here. There's one flexor carpi and one brachiora, whatever, names on screen, you can read it if you care about it. Anyway, that's the reason why your lower arm has a triangular shape. And if you look closely, there's also a tricep visible here. That's kind of a mini biceps at the back of your arm. If you have any problems sketching the basics, there's this really helpful metaphor that your arm basically works like a chain. One part goes like this, the other one goes like that. You get what I mean. It's a pretty helpful trick if you don't quite know how to draw an arm yet. So, how do we draw this arm more muscular? You certainly don't by just drawing in a bigger circle or something. The key word is the beginning of the muscle. Let's take the lower arm as an example because there are 3 muscles here at once. Also, I drew a reference to make things a bit easier for you. Everything you need to do is to draw the beginning of these muscles more detailed, just like they are in the reference. Alright, let's draw another example with the deltoid. Again, as you can see, I'm only drawing the beginning of the muscles more detailed. So we made this arm look more muscular without even increasing the mass. By the way, this body type is called lean, aka your typical anime body type. But of course, there are other body types that have a bit more mass to them. I showed you how to draw a lean body type, let's take a look at how to draw a bulky body. Like I said, don't just draw bigger muscles without thinking here. This way it looks like your arm has a Lego brick implanted in it. Maybe you already noticed, but some muscles have a white and a red part. It's not so much about the white beginning part, but more about the main red part of your muscle that grows. Take a closer look, most bodybuilders have the most mass at the red part of their muscle. And also you can spot that the white part is still pretty small. So instead of bulging up the white part as well, increase the mass mostly at the red part of the muscle. And as you can see, there's a method to this madness. It's not just drawing in some random circles. And that's exactly how it works with all the other muscles as well. All you have to do is increase the part with the most mass. Let's give this another try with the muscle right next to the arm, the chest. Let's approach this the same way. The shape of a chest should look somewhat like that. Also ignore this part because all of this still counts as your shoulder. You have 2 options right now. Doing it the easy way by just drawing this shape bigger, or you stop drawing Lego implants for once and we take another look at the anatomy of things. Drawing a chest is pretty easy. You have a couple of muscle strings that begin at your armpit and span all over the side of your chest. Kind of like a hand fan, if that helps. Most artists divide those strings into 3 or 4 bigger strings. And what did I tell you before? To make something seem more muscular, you need to first draw in more detail at the beginning part of the muscle. And if you want to, you can draw these muscles with a bit more mass, but you won't be seeing that very good from the front view. Drawing bigger muscles works a lot better from the side view, so here you can see a chest that's a bit more bulky. So let's draw one last example to end this video with I know, you want me to draw a certain muscle that you were looking for, but I can't talk about every single muscle in detail like this. This video was already enough work as is. But in case you care, I already made a video where I gave a brief overview of all muscles there are. You know, in case you don't want to go into too much detail and just want a quick overview. But it's not that bad, because from now on, drawing muscles will be the exact same process as before. All you have to do is to look up the muscle you want to draw in order to draw the respective body part. Let's take the abs as a final example. I mainly pick the abs because people still draw them with just crossed lines, and it reminds me of this image right here. Just like before, let's draw abs by looking at the anatomy of it. You see, abs aren't built in a straight line, but rather in a triangular shape. You basically have 8 abs. 2 below and 6 above your belly button. And in case you wondered, right beside your abs there are saw muscles. Anyway, let's draw abs the right way, so it doesn't look like an overgrown tic-tac-toe field. Let's approach this just like we did before. Let's draw in the beginning parts, or the outlines of the muscle. I approach this by drawing the middle of these muscles first. And then, for some extra detail, I add the bottom part of these muscles. I would not recommend drawing in everything, because this would look a bit too shredded, if you ask me. But of course you can do so if you want to. I'm not stopping you. Just be careful. Depending on the way you approach this, these abs could look extremely shredded or like an accident. When I'm designing characters, I sometimes tend to draw muscles completely shredded as well. But to my defense, Zeus, Hades and Poseidon are supposed to be literal gods, so them being shredded is justified. While we're at the topic, if you're interested to learn more about my manga series and my work in general, just check out my website. Volume 1 of my manga series, as well as my art book, are available at DrawlikeaSir.com. Oh yeah, regarding our checklist, always remember, if you want to draw a body part more muscular, you first need to draw the outlines and the beginning parts of the muscles, and second, you can also add more mass. We took care of step 1 with the abs, we have plenty of detail. But how do you add more mass though? In case of the abs, I wouldn't add too much mass. At least not more than this. These muscles are bulky enough, I wouldn't overdo it if I were you. But there's a third way of making your characters look more ripped, and I'll show you this method right now. When you're drawing muscles, you ideally want them to look very realistic and 3D. And you can achieve that through adding a realistic shading. Look at this, I drew an arm just like the one we did at the beginning, without any shading. And here's the same drawing, but with shading. Just to clear things up, through shading you can give objects more depth, and thus make them look bigger. Also, it makes your drawing look more natural. Just take the deltoid for example. If I didn't shade this, but instead just drew an outline for this muscle, this would have looked a lot more like the aforementioned Lego implant. So, try drawing smoother transitions through shading. Doesn't matter if you do it via cross-hatching, like me, or use markers, watercolor or other mediums to shade with. And of course, I'm aware that some of you don't have much experience when it comes to shading. If there only was a way to learn shading in like 5 minutes. Okay, I think I don't need to say much more. Also, I didn't make a video about cross-hatching yet, but if you want to, I'll make one sometime in the future. Oh, and before you ask, no, of course you don't have to get results like this from the very get-go. Go ahead and use all the references you like, even pros do that all the time. I personally prefer 3D models as references, just because they are always so clean looking and easy to understand. And no, this isn't called cheating, this is called being thorough and doing your research. And finally, since there are no more questions left unanswered, I'd say we can wrap up this video.
But how do you draw muscles on women? Shut the fuck up!
Thank you very much. Yes, believe it or not, but women are in fact human as well. This also could have been a female arm. This doesn't make any difference at all. Women have the same kinds of muscles like men do, and I don't get for the life of me why people are still asking this. Women aren't aliens. You guys are acting like you haven't seen a woman in ages or something. Before we'll call it quits for today, here's a quick overview of what we've learned today. You know how things work on my channel. If you want to go ahead and screenshot this, everything I want in return is a thumbs up to support me making more of these videos. Oh, and if you still have a spare subscription laying around somewhere, I would gladly take that too. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can support me on Patreon. This isn't my job or anything, I'm not earning a lot of money with my videos, but you can change that by pledging $1 or $2. My videos are completely free, and if you want to support me, it's appreciated. Also, check out my art book and my manga series right here, if you want it. Well then, my name's Marcel, and I'll see you guys next lesson. Goodbye.